A very good morning to all of you. Students, today we are going to begin with supply part 2, economics, microeconomics chapter we are doing. Students, in the previous class we discussed what relationship supply and or rather quantity supplied and price has. Today we are going to discuss about law of supply. According to the law of supply, other things remaining the same, the supply of a good expands when price rises and contracts when price falls. Reason being, you are thinking from the producer's point of view, and when the price will rise, you will supply more of a commodity to earn more of the profit. So if the price of the commodity will increase, the supply of the quantity will also be increased. Whereas if the price will fall, the supply quantity will also fall. Law of supply basically is an inverse or is opposite to your law of demand. Law of demand states that there's an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, whereas law of supply says there's a direct relationship between the price and the quantity supplied. Assumptions. Students, we are having various assumptions of the law of supply when we are saying that price of the commodity and the quantity supplied of the commodity. So the other factors should always remain constant, and what all that factors are. The price of related goods, that is your complementary and substitute goods, will definitely remain constant when we are considering law of supply. As we know, law of supply will only be talking about there is a change in the price of own commodity, so the price of related goods should remain constant. Price of inputs should not change. Technology should remain constant, and there is no change in the goal of the firm. Similarly, there is no change in government policy. Basically, these all are the factors which affect the supply of a firm. So they all should remain constant. There will be no change in all these factors. What do we mean by the word supply schedule? Supply schedule is a tabular presentation of the prices as well as the quantity supplied at various given periods or at various points of time. If we are having price at 1, quantity supplied will be 10. If price will be increased to 2, your quantity supplied will also be increased to 20. So price increased to 3, quantity supplied to 30. So it's a tabular presentation of the prices and the quantity supplied at various given periods of time. The similar way we have supply curve. Now, what do we mean by the word supply curve? Students, as we discussed, that supply schedule is a tabular presentation. When we plot those tabular presentation into convert it into graphical presentation, the curve which we get, we call it as supply curve. For example, if we see over here, at price 1, the quantity supplied will be hereby nearby some around 10. At price 2, quantity supplied will be nearby some around 20, 3, 30, 4, 40, 5, 50. So basically, supply curve is an upward sloping straight line curve because there exists a direct relationship between what? Between the price and the quantity supplied for that commodity. So supply curve is a positive as well as upward sloping supply curve. Students, last topic of the day is supply function. In this chapter, we are going to cover the various determinants of supply, that is individual supply also and market supply also. But what is a supply function? The way which we discussed market or rather demand function, in the same way we are having supply function. Supply function refers to the functional relationship between the supply of a good and the factors that affect supply, which we are going to discuss individually. Quantity supplied or supply of any commodity will depend on the price of the commodity, price of the related goods, taxation policy, goals of the firm, etc. etc. So basically this QS represents the quantity supplied and F represents the functional relationship. However, the letters within the bracket are the factors that affect supply that we are going to discuss in the next class, which we are going to cover in the next class. So this ends up our today's class with supply function. Go through the topic and come up with your doubts in the next class. Thank you so much, students. Have a good day.